Bibb County, Alabama's 1961 John Doe has been missing from his family for over 6 decades. The young man hitched a ride with motorist James White on Highway 25 south of Wilton, near the Shelby-Bibb County line in Alabama. He reportedly told Mr. White that his parents were going through a divorce and he had no specific destination. Not long after picking up his young passenger, the driver struck a guardrail near River Bend Bridge and the vehicle plunged into Cahaba River below. The driver survived, yet the boy was critically injured and drowned. It is believed that the young man hitched rides with at least 3 different motorists prior to his death. One claimed that the traveler had stayed with relatives as he moved between Montevallo, Alabama and South Carolina, trying unsuccessfully to find work. Another Good Samaritan claimed that he might have connections to the military service or have been an inmate at some kind of institution. The clothing the boy carried with him indicated he may have been from the north. His cigarettes were from South Carolina. After losing his life in a car accident, some of this unknown boy's 1961 funeral expenses were raised by area schoolchildren. Beautiful floral sprays adorned his burial site. According to Ben Windham of Tuscaloosa News, some of Bibb County's most prominent citizens, including a future county commission chairman, a future Centerville mayor, a bank president, as well as Sheriff Daley and Oakley, served as pallbearers. In June 2016, the Bibb County teen's remains were exhumed, underwritten by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. After obtaining DNA samples, he was reburied the same day. The Identifinders team has identified Bibb County, Alabama's beloved 1961 John Doe as Daniel Paul "Danny" Armentrout, born December 28, 1945 in Miami, Florida. His identity was announced live Saturday, October 30 at 7 p.m. Central on Gray Hughes Investigates. Gray and his YouTube audience of freaks generously funded the expensive and time-consuming investigation that required almost a year of work to gain viable DNA for a SNP profile. Danny Armentrout's identification represents the oldest case of a National Center for Missing and Exploited Children subject ever solved by genetic genealogy.
So Gray, we were just, discussing stuff. And so Misty found the Bibb County teenager. And so we thought, the teen dog would be a good case. And so, we talked about it and you agreed to fund it. But I looked at my notes, I called CW West, the coroner. Well, I called the number on the NAMUS page. It turned out it was a funeral home. And they told me that, CW, I think he was the funeral director and the coroner and the post office guy and the grocery store clerk. It's a little small town like Sam Carter. You remember him? Yeah. So anyway, I have to find out where he is. So anyway, I talked to him about early December last year. My first note was December 8th, but probably was the day before. And he told me that a couple of years ago, they raised money to exhume the boy. And they took DNA, or they took his, it turned out that they sent his, he said, CW said, well, I don't know what happened, but they sent his bones to somewhere in Texas. And I don't know. And I said, I don't know exactly where that is. Okay, I'll call them. That was at UNT. And the end of that was UNT told me that they had tried to extract DNA, but they got 0. They got absolute 0. So the lady said, are you sure you want to have this sample sent out? Are you really sure? And so I said, yeah, might as well. So she went ahead and sent it to, I think she sent it first to Intermountain to get this special stuff done called Tissueizer that helps, promote more DNA coming out. It grinds the bone and it keeps it cold, so that the DNA has a chance better to survive. So they got a bunch of bone powder and then they sent it to Australia. Well, the end of that, was UNT got nothing, and we got like 45 times the amount of DNA we normally need to run a case. And we used a piece of tibia, and we used, they had sent 3 teeth out, so the teeth are what really worked and gave us the 45 times the amount, we need. And that was, that's a picture of one of the, I think that's the picture of the teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I sent it out, and there's also a picture of the femur that we used. I mean, the piece of the tibia. The tibia only gave us 5.5 times the amount. The other one gave us about 45 times the amount. So we said, go ahead and send the 45. And this was just the beginning of all problems.
Well, we uploaded it to Genealogy, and then we uploaded it to Family Tree DNA. And interestingly enough, in this case, we had some problems because we had a...
Really?
She said, really?
Really? We had a second to third cousin. That was our top match. And then we had maybe another second to third, maybe fourth cousin on Genealogy, who matched each other in the second cousin realm. But building out their trees did not intersect with each other, which tells us that there's an NPE in the tree. And an NPE is a non-paternity event. And that's when somebody's daddy is not really their daddy, but they think it's their daddy. Same family. What I struggled with was, how can this family in New Jersey and New York be related to a kid that ends up in Alabama? So for about a week, I sat on this, building out this family tree, this burner tree, trying to figure out how these NPEs fit in. I called these NPEs with Allison, and we told them, there's something off in your tree. Do you know who your father is for sure? Do you know who your grandfather is? And we ended up helping these people along the way discover their family tree, which is rewarding, but time-consuming. Ancestry on the dome. So I pulled up Family Tree DNA, and I pull up my origins, and I go, holy crap, he's like 30% French. Why didn't I notice this before? And mostly I've seen British Isles, which is typical in American Caucasian ancestry because, we're all come down from the Mayflower. So once I noticed that French ancestry, she said, well, this has got to be it, because George Bernard Jr. and his wife, Elsie, who's from France, married in Alabama, and this is an Alabama connection. So we found out that George and Elsie had 3 other kids. They had an Elsie Jr., they had Virginia, and they had a Robert. So we were stuck at this point. Well, I found Robert's daughter, and I called her, and I said, what can we do, to figure this out? What can you tell me about your family tree? She said, I don't really know much. I follow true crime. I'm highly interested. Why don't you call my father Robert? But he lives in Germany currently. So he's 6 hours ahead, and he's 80 years old. So I got on the phone with Robert, and he was the sweetest old man. And he said, I don't really know what I can help you with, other than my person who's missing named Danny. And I said, well, tell me about Danny. And he said, well, Danny has braces on his legs. And right away, I remember you sent me the FBI report, Gray, that said that the boy walked with a limp. So the hair on the back of my head is standing up. So I'm texting Allison at the same time, saying, oh my God, we got him. We found a kid that has braces on his legs. So he said, unfortunately, I don't know much about Danny, but he was a child of my Aunt Jenny and my Uncle Jim. And so I pull up the tree and I said, well, your father had a sister named Virginia. Is that Aunt Jenny? And he said, yes. And I said, well, what's Jim's name? And he goes, I don't know. And so Allison and I are sitting there, and we're racking our brains, and we're like, so we know we have Virginia Burner. We know that she's supposedly married a man named Jimmy, but we don't know anything else. Now, this is where Allison's genius comes into play. She starts looking, so he had told us that they lived in Miami, Florida. So she starts looking through the Florida marriage records, and she finds a Virginia Burner that married an Arthur Armentrout. And I said, well, how do you know this is in Virginia? And she said, well, her middle name is Leo Patty, which is a very French name. And she said, if Virginia is the daughter of Elsie, who comes from France, wouldn't it make sense that her middle name is French? And he did verify that his brother Danny was missing. The last time he saw Danny was before he had went to the army in the 60s. He came home for Christmas in 1961 and his brother was gone, and nobody had seen him since. He also shared with us that Danny had polio as a child, which is why he had a limp. David, his other brother, is currently missing as well, but did not have a limb and was quite a few years older. We have since learned that originally we had told you, Gray, that Danny was about 14. We have since learned that he was actually 16 at the time. And we actually shared the morgue photo from the FBI bulletin with Donald this morning, and Donald called me back immediately and said, "That's my brother Danny." So after speaking to him, he wants the name to be recognized not as Hamilton because there were issues with his stepfather, which were part of the reason why Danny ran away, but he would like to be recognized as Daniel Paul Armentrout. And that's what we have passed on to the coroner's office to get his tombstone updated as.
I'm totally happy for you to tell anybody about him. And so he told me that one of the things he did this afternoon after he kind of digested everything we told him was that he called his priest, and his church in Florida tomorrow is going to be saying a prayer for Danny, now knowing exactly where he is and what happened to him. I told him all about you and the freaks. That we had to get on the internet tonight to tell everybody that had paid to have this case, investigated. That people were anxious to know about it. And he said, "Tell him thank you from the bottom of my heart." Both he and CW. I texted you a picture of CW, Gray. I don't know if you've seen it, but CW West is the little small town coroner that's also a funeral director in Alabama. Both of those men cried on the phone today with us and said, "Please tell these people thank you." Everything they did, and I got that from both men, the brother and I got that from the sheriff today too. The sheriff called me about 3 times.
Yeah.
So this town is just over the moon excited. So
well,
and also we just talked to CW about getting a stone with the boy's name on it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says that's all gonna. Yes, absolutely, they're gonna do that.
And they've invited Donald, his brother, and his wife Tara to come down for the dedication, and they've agreed that they want to do that as well.
is it pure? It's all funded because we could probably figure out a way to cover that too.
That town is going to come together in an incredible way. The sheriff told me that he had boxes of stuff and that he was going to get it all together to give it to the brother, and it included poems by school children about the boy. He's captured their imaginations for 60 years.